what would you say the benefits of investing in industrial versus some of the other asset classes, or why would somebody want to get involved in industrial versus some of the other asset classes? And do you kind of see industrial as the cream of the crop, meaning like the best at like if you had a choice between investing in any asset class, would you say that industrial would be the best asset class to invest in?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, I'm not too sure if one asset class is better than the other because it's cyclical. So during COVID, if you look at sort of the growth of asset classes and kind of which sectors have grown, it's primarily data centers and it's industrial, right? And that makes sense. I mean, people are relying more on technology. Data centers have needed to grow. And we've kind of seen that corresponding growth if you look even at stock, right? What happened to Zoom during COVID and what happened to, let's say, Dave and Buster's on the sort of bricks and mortar, right? They've kind of gone opposite directions. So I don't know if the answer is necessarily which is better. I think it depends on the cycle. I think it also depends on your access to data, to brokers, to knowledge, right, of the particular market and financing. So to me, it's less about which is better. It's more about where the comfort level is and how much risk you're prepared to take. I mean, definitely industrial has some really strong fundamentals in Southern California because of the Port of LA and Long Beach. There's also millions of square feet that is owned by the sort of mom and pop shops where they've owned the asset for 10, 20, 30 years and they've invested very little into it. So it's kind of like the residential side where you've got somebody that's lived there for 20, 30 years and they move out and it's first time on the market, right? So there's a lot of that where you can go in and there's an opportunity to lift up that value and bring it up to market rates.
Perfect. Okay. And then are you guys majorly building most of the buildings, or are you guys buying them more or less from like just resale type of buildings, just out of curiosity?
It's mainly existing buildings, mainly existing. In the infill environment, you really, it's hard to build. Well, it's hard to build ground up anyway in Southern California, as you know, right? There's a lot of bureaucracy and it takes a lot of time with CEQA and entitlements. So we are definitely doing ground up developments, but there's also a ton of inherent value in the existing buildings where you can go in and some of those buildings are already stabilized and you can pick up a building that is more of a cash flow play. And there's also opportunities where you can go and you can invest a certain amount of money that you can invest into that particular building to bring it up to a market rent where maybe it's at 60 cents a square foot and you can get it up to 90 cents a square foot. And the play there is kind of understanding what you're going into because there's definitely nuances in the industrial world that you do not see in the residential, let's say. There's definitely some differences that you have to look out for that maybe are not as obvious, if that makes sense. So.